Good morning. So let's get our business news now with Tyler Orton. Morning to you, Tyler.
Hi, Sonia.
Let's start with the big story that everyone was talking about yesterday, but I want to see what the knock-on effects on our Canadian markets have been of the U.S. Federal Reserve hiking up interest rates.
Well, you know what? Just as Steve was reading those numbers, of course we see that the Canadian dollar is falling because of this. And it kind of makes sense because what this means is that the U.S. Fed believes that their economy is strong enough to withstand, a rate hike at this point. So with that, the U.S. dollar moves up. And, of course, the Canadian dollar, which is dealing with, falling oil prices, it moved down. We actually saw a 5% decrease in oil prices yesterday. So, of course, that impacts, us up here in Canada. So that is going to impact the Canadian dollar. Consumers aren't going to like it. Of course, there's a lot less, travel down to the U.S., a lot less cross-border shopping. However, what it does mean for the Canadian economy, though, is that we can expect, bigger increases in exports.
That's exactly what I was going to talk to you about. So even though it's not great for us to go shopping over there, but for our export industry, it is excellent news, isn't it?
Absolutely, Sonia. And that's just the thing. We have seen the dollar tumble quite a bit over the last year. But the Bank of Canada is even saying that they're surprised we haven't actually seen exports increase even more to this point. So that is the one cause for concern. But look, we're going forward. The one thing to keep in mind is there's this kind of concept of, the optimal dollar. And that's actually closer to about 80 cents. And we're getting a lot closer to 70 cents right now. So that's the thing to keep in mind. But overall, I do expect this to have a good impact on at least the export economy. Commodities, that's a whole different story. So let's go forward and keep an eye on really what's going on overall in the Canadian economy.
Okay, Tyler, let's jump on to our next story. I've got to ask you about this because all over the headlines, our parent company Shaw and their acquisition of Wind. I mean, this is huge, but just how significant are people in the business world talking about this?
Oh, absolutely. This is the biggest telecom story of 2015. So, of course, they had to wait until December until they were going to go forward with this. But it's a $1.6 billion deal that will make Shaw the owner of the fourth largest mobile carrier here in Canada. So this puts it in line with other competitors like TELUS, Rogers, Bell, who all have national carriers. One thing to keep in mind, though, is Wind, of course, is more of a regional player with all of its base in, British Columbia, Alberta, and Ontario. They have about 1 million subscribers altogether. So going forward, the thing to keep in mind here is that just last week, Wind announced that they had raised about $425 million in financing to fund efforts to improve their high-speed networks. So going forward in 2017, they want to upgrade from 3G to LTE. So for consumers, if they have like a big company here in Canada backing one of these smaller players, they can actually expect even more competition going on through the wireless.
Which is just better news for consumers, right? I mean, it's pretty competitive already, but now it just ups the game to that next level.
I would say so, but you talk to some telecom analysts, and they also say that, look, they've tried this out in Europe where they try to increase competition, and sometimes it can just be, a muted effort over in Europe. So here's the thing. In Canada, we'd like to see a lot more competition, lower prices going forward. And the thing is, we have actually seen even data suggesting that smartphone sales are down because phones are getting better and plans are getting better as well. So we do see that there is potential here for even better plans going forward for Canadians because of this deal.
Okay, great to have you on the show once again. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Thank you.